Welcome to the AFR Saints channel, where we provide you daily content on your favorite team, the New Orleans Saints. Do us a favor and hit that subscribe button. Be sure to leave your comments below and smash that like button. Who dat? One of the things that is a very common exercise around camp are the 53-man roster projections. Our friend Kat Terrell, Saints reporter for ESPN.com. We love Kat. She does a great job. And she put out her 53-man roster projection. So I always comb through these. I understand that it's just one person's opinion and everybody does 53-man roster projections. Kat just posted hers at ESPN today, so I saw it and decided to run through it. A couple of interesting takeaways. And I guess one more thing real quick before I delve into this. And this is a caveat that I throw out every year around this time. I am a training camp nerd, okay? I am a preseason football nerd. Self-described. I admit it. I know not everyone listening to my voice right now loves NFL training camp. I get it. It's practice. And 90-man roster is going to be cut down to 53, and most of the guys out there practicing right now are going to be bagging groceries in a week, right? I don't mean any disrespect, but you get my point. Like, realistically, in a given year, there's maybe like 4 to 6 roster spots available in training camp. For the most part, 47, 48 roster spots, they're locked in when you open up camp. And you're trying to find who are those last guys? Who's the undrafted rookie free agent that's going to make the team? Who's the free agent signing that's going to beat out an incumbent? Something like that, right? So that's really what you're looking for. And I get it. Most of you are like, yeah. Just tell me whenever the Saints kick off week 1. I get it. But I'm the nerd, so I'm going to be watching and following all this stuff, and I'll tell you what you need to know. It is rare for a team to keep 3 quarterbacks on the 53-man roster. Kat Terrell has the Saints keeping 4. Derek Carr, Jay Kaner, Spencer Rattler, and Taysom Hill. She lists Taysom as a quarterback. That will be interesting just as the designation because of the emergency quarterback designation possibility. So what do the Saints list Taysom Hill as? Do they list him as a quarterback or do they list him as a tight end, some other H-back type position? I don't know. By the way, in that interview that Derek Carr did on Pardon My Take, listen to what Derek Carr said about Taysom Hill in that interview.
Taysom's the best football player I've ever played with.
He really is.
So he can do everything.
He can do everything.
Throws, runs, catches, fullback, quarterback, tight end, receiver, slot, blocks, punts, personal protector.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't, just because of how stats work, I don't know how it'll work, but that man is a Hall of Fame football player.
So I'm glad he threw in the caveat because Taysom Hill's not going to the Hall of Fame. He'll be in the Saints Hall of Fame and should be, but he's not going to be in the Pro Football Hall of Fame because so many of those organizations and entities require a certain statistical level of achievement, right? And Taysom Hill's not going to have any of that. But I'll put it to you this way. If Devin Hester got in the Hall of Fame as a returner, why couldn't Taysom Hill get in the Hall of Fame as a guy who really excelled at a bunch of different things? Never was like a 1,000-yard rusher or a 1,000-yard receiver or starting quarterback, anything like that, but was elite enough of an athlete to be a contributor at all of these different spots on the field. I would have said never, but watching Devin Hester go into the Hall of Fame as a return specialist, it gives you at least some glimmer of hope that there could be a path for him eventually there. I don't know, file it away, but it was interesting to hear Derek Carr say that's the best player I've ever played with. He's played with Devontae Adams. Cam Jordan, I think, is going to be a Hall of Famer. But Derek Carr is telling you Taysom Hill is the best player he's ever played with. Anyway, 3 running backs. Kat has the Saints keeping Kamara, Kendre Miller, Jamal Williams. No surprise there. Adam Prentice, the lone fullback. No surprise there. Receivers interesting because typically a team keeps 5 receivers. And you might get to 6 if you have a special teamer, a return man, a guy who covers kicks or punts, whatever the case may be. Here's the 6 that Kat has the Saints keeping. Olave, Rashid, Bub Means, the draft pick out of Pitt. Cedric Wilson, the free agent signing from Miami. A.T. Perry, the second-year player. And Equinemius St. Brown. I don't believe they keep 6. I don't believe they keep 6 because I think they're going to find pass catchers other places. Like Foster Moreau, Juwan Johnson at tight end, Taysom Hill, your running backs with Kamara and Kendre Miller. Like, I don't think they're going to keep 6 wide receivers. We'll see, but I don't think the 6 guys I just mentioned are all going to make the team. I think the first 5 she had are probably right. Olave, Shaheed, Means, Wilson, Perry. I think Equinemius St. Brown is probably the odd man out, but we'll see. Cat does have the Saints keeping 3 tight ends, Juwan Johnson, Foster Moreau, and Dallin Holker, who, yep, here we go. Muse, we're high on, this is our guy, right?
He's our guy.
We're high on Dallin Holker. I know everybody's high on him, and maybe he's great. Look, he's a guy who started his career at BYU, went to Colorado State, is a productive pass catcher. I just feel like I've seen this movie before. Did we ever find out what the guy's name was?
No,
Pitt?
man, I was looking
for
for
it.
it.
Now. Look him up right now. The undrafted free agent from Pitt last year that the Saints signed. We were trying to remember his name yesterday. I couldn't even remember it. It's like every year we have one of these guys that we talk about that we think is going to be the guy. I mean, look, Juwan Johnson was an undrafted free agent as a receiver from Oregon that they converted to a tight end, a pass-catching tight end, and it stuck. The one thing I will say for Dallin Holker, not knowing a ton about him, is when you look at Clint Kubiak throughout his career, he more leans on the prototypical tight ends. So just worth following away and seeing that. The 9 offensive linemen, I think she nailed it. Eric McCoy, Cesar Ruiz, Fuanga, Penning, Saldivari, Landon Young, Oli Udo, Lucas Patrick, Shane Lemieux. I'd be surprised if it went any other way than that. On the D-line, the one surprise, Cat has the Saints keeping Christian Boyd. Christian Boyd is the UDFA out of Northern Iowa. Remember, was a defensive lineman who was a teammate of Trevor Penning's at UNI. So she has him making the team. Linebackers, the one surprise there, Jalen Ford, undrafted free agent out of Texas, making the team along with Davis, Werner Gay, and DeMarco Jackson. And then at corner, all the guys you'd expect, except she does have the Saints keeping Shamar Jean-Charles as well. So as sort of a backup special teams player. The safeties, everyone you would expect, Matthew, Abram, Howden, J.T. Gray, Will Harris, the free agent signee. And the specialists was Zach Wood, Lou Headley, and Blake Grupe. But remember Charlie Smith, the international player that the Saints signed in the offseason. We saw it last year with the Saints replacing both of their veteran specialists. Maybe this could be another year where that happens. I wouldn't say anything is locked or solidified among the specialists going into this year. All right, so first, 53-man roster, hat tip, Cat Terrell. You want to go read through all the reasoning you can at ESPN.com. The one big disagreement I would have there, I don't think the Saints are going to keep 6 wide receivers. And I don't know that Taysom Hill is going to be listed as a quarterback, but we'll see. Hey, thanks so much for watching. Please leave your comments. I love to interact. And be sure to hit the red subscribe button below.